Welcome! Now if you're a regular watcher of this channel, you know we like to go to St Dunstan's in the east, which is a church which was bombed in the Second World War, which was never rebuilt and is absolutely beautiful, and one of those finds that when you go down a side street just off Eastcheap round by the Tower of London, you discover it and go, wow, this is here. So we found another one. This is Christchurch Greyfriars, which is also known as Christchurch in Newgate Street, and was a church opposite St Paul's Cathedral in the City of London. I say it was because now it's got lots of buildings, which are those ones on the right, which are between, well, here and St Paul's Cathedral. So that's where we are in the City of London. So this is the outside church garden, but don't worry, we're going to show you around because there's even more beautiful areas to look at in just a couple of seconds. But we want to show you the sort of the view that you get from here, and also the fact that this is a lovely big open space. There you go, there's St Paul's Cathedral just down the alleyway there. So it shows you how close it is. But during the summer, this will be bustling with city workers all coming in here and having their lunch. And as you can see, you've got Bank of America, which has been built right around this garden area. Later to become a parish church after the dissolution of monasteries. Now, following its destruction by the Great Fire of London in 1666, like so much of this land around here, because actually it went on for a little bit further and then stopped the Great Fire of London and its destruction, it was rebuilt by the designs of, yep, you guessed it, Sir Christopher Wren, him of St Paul's Cathedral design as well, just over the other side of the road and down a bit. Now, except for this tower which we're looking at here, the church was largely destroyed by bombing during the Second World War, and the decision was made not to rebuild the church, which now means the ruins are all a public garden. And you've still got some of these old dated plaques on the walls here, so not affected at all, but of course the only thing that has really affected it over time is the weather. I love discovering these places and finding out their history. So Christchurch Greyfriars had its origins in the conventional church of a Franciscan monastery, and the name Greyfriars being reference to the grey habits which were worn by the Franciscan friars. Now here we're inside what would have been the original church, or the rebuilt church by Sir Christopher Wren before it was bombed in the Second World War, and you can just see how nature has taken over, and then it's been looked after over the time. Now the first church was built on the site in the mid-13th century, but this was soon replaced by a much larger building, begun in the 1290s and finished around 1360. And yes, if you're looking at that dome, that is the top of St Paul's Cathedral. Now the new rebuilt church was the second largest in medieval London, measuring 300 feet long and 89 feet wide, with at least 11 altars. Now it was partly built at the expense of the Margarita of France, the second wife of King Edward I, and she was buried in the church, as was Isabella, the widow of Edward II, and her daughter Joan of the Tower, Queen of Scotland. Richard Whittington, who was the Lord Mayor of London, otherwise known as Dick Whittington, yeah, the one that lots and lots of pantomimes are around about Christmas, founded a library in connection with the church in 1429. Now the monastery was dissolved in 1538 under the English Reformation. The buildings and the fittings suffered heavy damage during this period. Tombs disappeared and were sold for their marble and other valuable materials, and monuments were defaced. In 1546, Henry VIII gave the priory and its church, along with the churches of St Nicholas Shambles and St Edwin, Newgate Market, to the City Corporation, and a new parish of Christchurch was created, which incorporated those of St Nicholas and St Edwin and were part of those of St Spelter. The priory buildings later housed Christ's Hospital School, founded by Edward VI, and the church became its pupils' principal place of worship. Now, the medieval church was destroyed by the Great Fire of London, back in 1666. And here we go, you've got where all the different churches are around in the different area around here. And this, by the way, is carved in wood and is absolutely beautiful. So Reconstruction was assigned to Sir Christopher Wren, who oversaw decades of a long programme to rebuild St Paul's Cathedral, approximately 50 other parish churches as well. And there appears to have been some debate about the form of the new Christchurch should take. A surviving unused building design actually shows a structure considerably larger than the eventual one built. Parishioners raised £1,000 to begin the work on the design, and to save time and money, the foundations of the Gothic church were partly reused. The new church and the tower, without a steeple, were completed in 1687 at a total cost of £11,778. It was smaller than the Gothic structure, and the whole building measured only 114 feet long and 81 feet wide, occupying only the eastern end of the site of the medieval church, and the west part becoming its churchyard, which is the bit that we walked in right to start with. Over the course of the church's existence, significant modifications were made to it. In 1760, a vestry house was built against the facade's south side and also part of the church's south wall, and at some points rooms were enclosed in the north and the south aisles beneath the galleries. Stained glass depicting Jesus with the children was installed in the centre Trinity window to replace the original clear glass. Now what's absolutely amazing is this is quite a busy junction point for traffic in London, but just look, all the rebuilding work that's going around, yet you have this original churchyard here from way back when. By the way, we'll have a look at this in just one second from the other side, because this is a lovely memorial that's just at the side here. But you've got this garden, which is right in the middle of the City of London, much like St Dunstan's in the east, which is, well, just one of those little havens in London to discover, but with history going so far back. Over the years, the church functioned as an important centre of the City of London Society of Music, and the Lord Mayor attended an annual service here to hear the ancient spatial sermon on the second Wednesday after Easter, placing his ceremonial sword in a special holder. And Felix Mendelssohn played Bach's A minor figurine, and also other works on the organ here in 1837. The Christ's Hospital boys continued to attend services here until eventually Christ's Hospital moved out of here in 1902 and went down towards Horsham in West Sussex, ending the Sunday influx of its schoolboys. The church stayed intact until eventually the Blitz. On the 29th of December 1940, the church was severely damaged by a bomb. The decision was made to leave it to nature, and much like St Dunstan in the east, which is the video I'll put in the top right hand corner, it was left to nature. But wow, has nature taken over and made it a beautiful place to come and have a look at. So if you're in London, do come and have a look.